Not every chapter of your life is supposed to feel exciting. Almost nobody told us this. Instead, we were surrounded by stories where something important is always happening. When you watch movies, they are usually skipping the boring years. Social media is usually skipping the ordinary days. Influencers only show you the beautiful moments when they buy an apartment, when they buy a car, or when they finally sign a new deal. Even when people are telling their own story, they are usually skipping the part where nothing seems to change. So when our life become quiet, we assume we've slowly fallen behind. And I think that's why so many people feel anxious in their 20s and 30s, in which I think I am one or I was one of them. Not necessarily because life is going bad, but because life feels uneventful. You wake up, you go to work, you come back, you repeat the same cycle every day. You know, it doesn't feel like a story worth telling. But maybe that's because we are judging life while we are still living in it, while we are still living it. Think about learning something new. Maybe you are learning an instrument, or maybe you are building a friendship, or maybe you are trying to become emotionally mature. None of these transformations happen in a dramatic moment. They happen through hundreds of ordinary days that barely feels different from the one before. And I think the strange thing about growth is that it rarely announces itself. It happens so slowly that you only recognize it when you look backward. That's why we often mistake stillness for failure. We mistake lack of excitement for lack of progress. We expect growth to feel dramatic when most of the time it's often feel ordinary, it feels repetitive, even sometimes boring. And maybe that's not a sign that nothing is changing. You know, Maybe that's what real growth has always felt like. Repetitive isn't always the absence of progress. Sometimes repetitive is progress itself. And lately, I've been wondering if the most quiet season of our life deserve more appreciations, because they are often the season where we are changing the most, even when no one else can see it yet, not even us. Because the most important part of your life aren't the moments where everyone can remember. Maybe that's the ordinary days that feels insignificant as the moment, but quietly shapes the person you've eventually became.